¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome to another video. So you want to make money in 2026 without becoming a full-time influencer. Cool. So let's talk about UGC. Hi, my name is Pedro Villan. I literally run 2 social media marketing agencies that literally make more than 6 figures every single year, more than 68 million views, 100 appointments booked for all of my clients, and a Grammy that we actually won in 2025. Shout out to Zakai Curtis. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want you to make better content so you can actually make money online. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to basically show you how I'd go from 0 to actually really making money with UGC content and becoming a UGC creator this year, even if you have 0 followers, a regular 9 to 5, and nothing but your phone. You don't have to post on your own socials if you don't want to. You're creating content for brands. They use it as ads and organic posts, and you get paid. Very simple. So by the end of this video, you'll have a 6-step plan to start your UGC business, land clients, and basically turn content into real income in 2026. So first of all, more so than anything else, I want you to start with step 1, which is understand what UGC really is and what it isn't, right? So step 1 is essentially very simple. Most people don't necessarily understand this, but UGC is essentially user-generated content. So it's content made by regular people that brands use as organic posts on their socials, ads on Meta, TikTok, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. The works, right? It is not, I love this product, here's my favorite influencers content, or a random aesthetic where people basically do a montage with lo-fi audio and there's basically no message, right? So as a UGC creator, your job is not to be the star. It is basically to be the salesperson on the video. So you're essentially answering one question for the viewer. Why should I spend my money on this, right? And you basically answer it by showing a product, by solving a problem, telling a quick story or transformation, and making it feel like a real person is actually making some sort of testimony or testimonial, not necessarily a polished commercial, okay? So here's a mini exercise. If you don't know what UGC looks like, do this today. Go to your favorite brands on Instagram, TikTok, literally all short form content. If literally you want to basically make a content on short form platforms or even on YouTube, and essentially scroll through their feed and their ads. Look for videos where it basically looks like a regular person is talking to you and using the product. That's basically UGC, right? Screenshot those, save them, and that's essentially your homework, right? Just as far as using something to use as a reference, right? Step 2, right? Essentially learn, direct response, and practice using what you already know, right? So step 2 is essentially practice like crazy, okay, with the products you already have at home. Okay, so 2026 is always going to be a volume game. I've been saying this since 2025, and it's going to be the same in 2026. Volume is everything. You are not going to be good at UGC in just 2 videos. I promise you that. You're going to need reps, right? So I'm going to introduce you a simple ad formula that's basically tied to my style that you can use on a consistent basis, right? So you're going to use this UGC ad formula. So essentially hook, which is essentially grab the viewer's attention in the first 2 to 3 seconds, establish a problem or pain, what sucks right now for the viewer, right? Establish the solution, which is the product or the brand that you're basically trying to show to the people. Provide proof, which is literally a quick before and after or a testimonial or a benefit, and then have a call to action like click the link, try it today, DM in order to get whatever it is that they're applying for, right? It's just direct response marketing in a TikTok, Instagram, YouTube short format, if that makes sense. Now you're essentially going to connect that with every single time you have downtime in your day. So essentially, don't wait for the perfect filming day. Okay, you're basically going to use time in between tasks, literally like after you eat, or before you leave the house, or between client calls, or in your car parked, or going on a walk with your girlfriend, or going on a walk with your boyfriend, going on a walk with the dog. It doesn't matter. In these micro gaps, I want you to film 30 to 60 second UGC pieces of content that you already use on a consistent basis with the products that you already use, basically. So it's like skincare, coffee stuff, tech, gym gear, anything you genuinely own, okay? Your first goal isn't necessarily to get paid. It's essentially to become dangerous on camera, right? So here's a concrete challenge that you can basically use today so that way you can get into this as soon as possible. So I want you to pick 3 to 5 different products around your house and film one talking head video, essentially literally talking like this as far as like for short form content, one talking demo, basically how I use it for each, right? And essentially a fun format, whether it be a skit or a POV or a voiceover, however you think is most interesting to you for at least one product, right? And that's already 7 to 10 videos, right? This becomes your foundation for your UGC portfolio. Step 3, I want you to build a simple UGC portfolio and a content bank. Step 3 is essentially where this starts to actually look like a real business, right? Like build your portfolio, your content bank. So you don't necessarily need a $2,000 website. I want you to start simple. And you can either pick one of the two options, right? So the first one is essentially a Canva website. So use a template, drop your best UGC examples, add your name, your location, your email, and social links, and turn autoplay off so 10 videos don't start screaming at once, okay? And the next one that you could actually use is essentially a Google Drive folder, right? You basically organize it by niche, whereas like beauty, fitness, SaaS companies, local business, etc. And you send specific folders that you can actually pitch brands, right? Your portfolio isn't necessarily a visual resume. It basically answers, can this person talk on camera? Can they sell my product without being cringe? Can they actually understand different formats that they can basically make pieces of content for? And then essentially, you apply the rule of one plus the backlog idea that I literally preach on this channel literally all the time, which is essentially one main niche that you want to be hired in first, one portfolio link that you can actually send everywhere, and one content bank where all these UGC videos live, right? And start thinking like a studio, right? So where can you actually film these on a consistent basis where it's not going to be an issue to basically press record? It's basically the folder that you're building, right? That's your library. So over time, you want as many examples that a brand can actually scroll without saying, yeah, we need to hire a person. You know what I'm saying? So in addition, if you're bilingual, if you speak more than one language, I just want to say this is a cheat code because we can basically refilm the same script in Spanish, in English, in Japanese, in Mandarin, in Portuguese. It doesn't matter. Brands love bilingual creators because they basically got 2 markets for 1 person. They don't have to pay anybody, which is awesome. Now we go into step 4, which is basically build a simple personal brand. Even if you don't want to be an influencer, okay? You don't necessarily need a personal brand to do UGC, I'll be quite honest with you. But it is a massive advantage in 2026, I'll be honest. But think of your personal brand like always on billboard, right? Like you're an always on billboard. You're basically positioning yourself that brands will basically find you through your content, and before they even see your portfolio, they can actually make a decision of if they want to work with you or not, right? So your personal brand doesn't have to be like, oh, day in the life content, vlogging, like if that's not you, right? If you're watching this, you probably fall into one of these, right? You're a creator that wants to make money with content, you're a business owner who wants another income stream, or you're already making content for clients and want to add UGC as a service, right? So you build brands around that. So you basically show behind the scenes on shoots, you basically break down ads that you see and explain why they work, you share tips about scripting, hooks, and offers, you basically post your own examples of UGC examples and tag brands, etc. And you basically connect that to volume and third-party schedulers, right? So you need volume in 2026, period. And you also need to be everywhere, period. So what you're gonna do is that once you start to develop the habit of making UGC content for yourself and for your UGC business, right, you're essentially going to pick one home platform where you go all in, being TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, right? You post there natively, and then you're going to have a third-party planner. And I'm not talking about event planner. I'm talking about like Metricool, like Buffer, like Hootsuite, like Later, any of the ones that work for you, so that way you can repost the same content and literally just put it on every single other platform. It could be your TikTok, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Threads, your whatever it is, your YouTube Shorts. It doesn't matter. That way you can just focus on what matters and just getting better on camera, landing clients, delivering results, and essentially at the end of everything all, instead being a better creator instead of just literally being a full-time uploader, if that makes sense. Now, step 5, finding clients. Like, how do you even find the people that you actually want to work with in the UGC world, right? Or basically how to get paid with UGC clients. There are 3 main lanes that you can get paid in as far as platforms, pitches, and local, right? So platforms is essentially like signing up for UGC or creator platforms and freelancer sites like UGC marketplaces, like for example, any Facebook groups that you could basically find, or maybe on Upwork or Fiverr, even Reddit and X. Sometimes people are asking like, oh, any UGC creators out there? Are they perfect? No. Are they competitive? Yes. But the brands are basically posting every single day asking for people that can actually be the spokesperson for whatever it is that they're trying to post, right? So my thing is just like, you want to start where people are actually asking for that. Next thing would be cold pitching, but not necessarily cringe, right? Is essentially emailing or DMing these brands that you want to work with, and most people do this wrong. They write, hey, I'm a UGC creator, do you need content? That's not necessarily a pitch, that's a question. So instead, I want your UGC ad or I guess your UGC outreach to look like this. I want you to have a subject line being the hook. I want there to be a first sentence, which is essentially a pattern interrupt. I want there to be a middle portion where you basically address the problem and basically how you solve it, and then literally have a clear ending with a clear call to action. An example would be, literally I just wrote one down here, is that you notice a skincare brand that's actually doing well on TikTok and they have great photos, but they don't have any TikTok style testimonials or Instagram reel testimonials or YouTube short testimonials. You basically email them the following. I'm going to read it as it writes. Hey, blank name, I noticed you get a ton of love in your comments, but there's no short form testimonials. I'd love to create 3 20 to 30 second videos that turn your best reviews into scroll stopping ads. Then you basically attach 2 to 3 relevant examples, your link to your portfolio, and you end with want me to send 3 specific concepts for your next campaign. That's value. That's very specific, and that's how you stand out, because you're giving them a solution to their problem, which is literally that they can't find UGC creators, right? Now 3 is local businesses, right? It's super underrated, and I say this because I don't want you to sleep on local UGC, because every city has a gym, every city has a restaurant, every city has a coffee shop, every city has a med spa, every city has a real estate office, every city has a boutique of some sort or anything, right? These people need content, but they don't have time and they don't understand the algorithm. So you want to make sure you walk in, you order something, you be a normal human being, and you say, hey, by the way, I make short form videos for businesses. I'd love to film 3 videos for you to test on Instagram and TikTok. No long contract. If they perform well, we can basically talk about a monthly package. That's also UGC too, right? And local deals often turn into recurring clients, which is absolutely awesome. Dang, it is bright. I need to turn down the brightness or turn up my f-stop. It is really bright today. Anyway, continuing with the video, step 6, literally the last step out of all of this, right, is essentially I want you to treat UGC like a real business in 2026, right? So here's what most people drop the ball. They basically treat UGC as if it was a side quest, not necessarily a business, which is, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it sucks. You're not just someone who basically makes TikToks or YouTube shorts or Instagram reels just for brands. You're essentially running a creative business, or a different aspect of a creative business, where you basically bring in your money plus your systems thinking, right? Whereas you're doing 3 things, right? Set your minimum viable income, essentially. How much money do you need from UGC per month in order to feel like it's real money? Is it 500? Is it 1,000? Is it 3,000? That's your first milestone. I don't want you to say basically, I want 10K months, this, that, and a third. We're trying to replace a certain portion of your income. We're not trying to make you famous, okay? Next, it would essentially determine if you want to basically do a separate bank account for your creator income, or use your current bank account for your creative income, but you just have to track it, right? Any UGC money would go into these accounts overall, and this keeps you from basically stealth lifestyle inflation, meaning that you basically have more money coming in, so then you want to spend more, and we don't want that. And it also shows you in black and white if something is working, right? And the next thing is more so the most important out of anything, is build systems so you can actually play the volume game as you grow without frying your brain, right? So like I said before, it's very simple. Just one scripting template being your hook, your problem, your solution, your proof, and your CTA, 1 filming day per week, 1 editing block per week, 1 outreach block per week, and a content bank or a backlog, so you're not necessarily waking up and being like, what do I post today? You know what I'm saying? And remember, more so than anything else, platforms change overnight. They can get banned in the country just like Australia, and people can change their rules, or they tank your reach, right? So your security comes from all the skills that you've developed, like scripting, filming, editing, and selling yourself, right? The relationships you build with your brands and the agencies, and your email list that you develop over time, and the CRM that you have to basically post everywhere else so clients can actually see all the info that you provide and the leads that come through, right? That's how you basically develop a personal brand and a UGC business that survives an algorithm every single time, right? So let's recap. UGC creators in 2026 need to be doing this game plan. Learning what UGC really is. You're basically a problem solver on video, that not an influencer. 2, you practice like crazy with the stuff that you already own and using a simple ad formula. Number 3, you basically add a basic portfolio and a content bank into your system, so that way you can actually think like a mini studio. Number 4, build a simple personal brand so brands can actually find you. Number 5, use platform pitches and local businesses to land your first clients. And treat this, number 6, treat this like a business, being a separate income or an income that you can actually track with your systems and real financial goals. UGC is not necessarily a get rich quick scheme, But if you stack reps and use the time in between tasks and play the volume game smart, it can be 100% of your real income stream for you this year. Anyway, if you liked the video, I would really appreciate it if you could actually like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if there's any other videos that you want me to make, put in the comment section, because I literally make these videos on making content online to make money, okay? Anyway, if you want to learn how to basically make your own social media marketing agency like I have in the past, that basically makes 6 figures roughly in 90 days, then basically put the first link in the description. We have a coaching program, a community, and a course that you can basically learn that and learn how to do that as fast as possible from everything that I've learned and from what my business partner has learned as well. And if you love this video so much, don't just stop watching now because it's freaking bright out here. Go watch this video that actually was recommended by YouTube around here on the screen, because I would really appreciate the watch time. On top of that, I really appreciate you, and I wish you the best on your UGC Creator journey. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Peace.